Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Tech and Production. Today I'm Bancroft and being joined by Jake, Jimmy, and like always, Fluff.
Hey y'all.
Howdy.
What's up, people?
And today we're going to go over the Dropbox Giants Foresight open up at the shop. Keep in mind, I said the word shop. So normally when we do these things, we just kind of give our normal commentary as we go. You can see I'm trying to give commentary as I go. The problem though is just we just got super loud at our shop this time around, and I felt like the audio. There was a lot of arguing happening in the background. There was some intense playing at another table, not Dragon Ball related, but
some very barrel-chested individuals having a passionate, heated conversation over their BattleTech games.
Look, nerd stuff is important. Okay?
It's always important. So I figure we can use this video to more or less kind of go over maybe because we've all opened Dropbox already by now, right?
Yeah.
So we all kind of have an idea of how the pull rates were, which is normal Dropbox stuff. Don't be surprised by it. And kind of give our takes and our feelings about them, you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
Hell yeah. Goku leader.
the best leader ever, right?
Yeah.
So, first thing I want to point out was if you enjoyed the content, like, subscribe, all the fun stuff. But I just don't like Dropboxes anymore.
No, I've really dreaded the release of this.
are we finally unleashing the beast? Is my Draftbox rant finally making an appearance?
I think so.
So, and let me first give my reason why I feel like this. Don't get me wrong. I think the cards are great. I really do. The reason why I don't like draft boxes as much as normal boxes, you get the same amount of packs, which is nice, 24 packs, but there are less cards in the box. So you think, okay, cool, you should be able to get a better pull rate that way, but you don't, and you're spending roughly retail wise $100 for a draft box,
Roughly.
and if you're buying a normal box, it's like roughly 75. Right?
Yeah.
So you're spending less on regular boxes, which you think, okay, but it takes more boxes of the regular stuff to, get all the stuff. It's like, okay, that's fine. But like I said, the pull rates really suck in draft boxes. They've always have.
I think this is the best draft box they've done because I have the exact opposite opinion on the pull rates. And I did get a God pack in mine, which really helped my case. I did get a God pack in that, so it did help out my numbers. But I felt like this box had more guaranteed cards than previously.
Oh, you're token.
Shout out to the
because I made the comment that these cards kind of look fake with that holographic look to it. And you're like, speaking of fake cards. Also, speaking of, this video had a very funny intro. Like funny, Jimmy made a butt joke. And it literally broke me. And I was in a bad place like the entire day. I've had a lot on my mind. And that just like took me out of it for like a moment. It was just a good chuckle.
Can you just put the raw unedited audio of that in?
All right, 3, 2, there.
Until you get like super butt disease.
Yeah. How'd you know?
I was there.
Oh, fair. Oh, that was you. Okay, fair enough. All right. Hey, everyone, make up here from Tech and Production.
You have a very tight sphincter.
You did it on purpose. Motherfucker. All right, now we're back to this one.
So, like, I really like this draft box over the others because I felt like it didn't make an archetype. It just helped out a lot of the previous archetypes that needed help.
I will agree with you. In the sense of everything since set 10 has been phenomenal, I felt like, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, comparing this draft box to the last draft box, I will agree with that. I do think that you pulled 5, I think, altogether. But I do agree with you that this box was better in that aspect.
Yeah. Like, I feel like this should be the path that they take on draft boxes from now on. Instead of just doing like, here's box, bunch of new cards. They should do, hey, this is the draft box for Colossal Warfare, and then have a bunch of Colossal Warfare support, kind of like they did here with the Renegarn stuff. And then, hey, here's World Martial Arts support draft box. Instead of just having a bunch of these cards that are just actually like somewhat generically good, because you can splash almost all of these draft box cards in other decks.
For sure. And side note, if there's any card you guys want me to stop on, tell me to pause it real quick and we'll talk about it a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure.
That Whiffle Melody didn't really care much about.
One of the things that I liked about this draft box in particular is I feel like a lot of the cards that have the potential to be meta-forming were lower rarity, like that Piccolo, that King Piccolo, I think is going to be a good staple in red. It's a rare, it's much easier to get those than it is if it were SRs. One of the problems that I have with draft box, and I think it is the big attribution to terrible pull rates, is I think that the ratio is 24 super rares and 12 GFRs. Whereas in a normal set, you have 23 to 24 super rares, then you have 8 special rares, which are just rehashes of the super rares. So there's not as much competition between, super rares and another rarity. So I feel like that was the big attribution to terrible pull rates. Now, one thing that I would personally like to see in draft boxes kind of moving forward, and for some reason Bancroft's talking about Cybermen there. One thing that I would really like to see is per pack in a draft box, I think every pack should come with a campaign rare, let's call that the GFR, should come with a GFR, a super rare, a rare, 3 uncommons, and then the rest commons. I feel like every pack should have those loaded up. Just because, think about if you're in a draft scenario and you're drafting, it's meant to be between 4 people. And there's a chance that you get no high rarity card. There's a chance that you don't see them, unless you're just opening them like this, in which course, yes, you will obviously see them. But if you're potentially using them for draft, it's like that. Or just get rid of SRs in the draft box altogether.
Yeah. I do think a lot of the issues with draft box comes for the misinformation around them. A lot of people seem to think these are very underprinted sets, that they're not a lot out there. And that's part of what drives up the prices on them.
Yeah.
When that is not entirely true. Now, of course, draft box 4 was
very underprinted.
It was not in the way that people say it is. It was underprinted, and it was also
split
underappreciated. A lot of people passed up on the draft box because they said, there's nothing in here. There's a bunch of shitty reprints. I don't want none of them. So they passed up on it. And then that let people that were, going, okay, these cards are really good, end up hoarding a lot of them. And that was one of the big issues with that box, is that if you notice on TCG around that time, it's like a TCG player. Hey, shout out Tyrannical Blow.
You got 6 of those, not 5.
I got way too many of them. I'm not hype on them. But if you notice, on TCG Player around that time, there was 3 or 4 sellers that had 30 or 40 Bardocks, Bardock apes.
Yeah.
And it got this aura around draft box that all draft boxes are misprinted, and that you need to buy them, you need to get them, and that drives up the price. You got your first GFR. That's a pretty sick GFR, though.
Oh,
I like that card a lot.
So, I'm hype on that card.
I want to hear Jake's comment in a second, but before I do that, I saw a post on the Dragon Ball Facebook group, the community one. Someone had posted a picture of 4 GFRs. It's this is my pull in 2 separate boxes. Has anyone else seen this same repeats? Those were the same 4 cards were the 4 I had pulled as well.
I have seen in a text group I am in, I have seen Coalition in cases as well, where they'll pull the top of the box will be 4 of the same, or the top of the case will be 4 GFRs, and then the bottom of the case will be the same 4.
Really? Yeah. I pulled, I think I pulled 3 of the reds and 1 blue. I think I pulled both Piccolos. What's the other reds? Is there a slug one?
There's a slug and another Piccolo.
I think I pulled both of those, and then I pulled I think Raditz ape.
You pulled a Bergamo as well.
Well, that was in the my other box though.
In your other box, yeah.
Yeah. But Jake, would you like to talk about draft boxes?
So some of the points you guys brought up, both in your praises and critiques of this set, are precisely the reason I don't like the draft boxes as a product.
Yeah.
First and foremost, very few of them, and this one unfortunately is, well, I don't want to say unfortunately because this is the grim truth, is that the majority of these boxes are never drafted.
Yeah.
Limited play in Dragon Ball is not the most popular format. It is not as eloquent a format as limited is in other card games. And because of that, these boxes are purchased and just opened like this.
Just
Yeah.
cracked. Yeah.
Right. Which essentially makes them regular booster boxes. So the $20 or sometimes $30 or more price hike between this and a regular booster box, you're paying that money for a sturdy cardboard box and 4 copies of the same leader, which the draft leaders are never good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's all 3 reds.
Yeah. My second problem with draft boxes is that the cards in them are good. Because they're designed for limited play, they are generic and splashable and therefore sought after. So groups that are able to do mass box openings, I won't call out specific stores, but they can essentially set the market on these draft box cards because players like myself and other people who can't buy multiple tens of cases like these places do, we can't affect the market in any realistic way with the number of cards that we hold. So essentially you get into a situation where draft box cards can turn on a dime. Like we've talked in previous videos about how cards from DB4 will spike from $20 to $90 and drop back to $8, and it creates. Oh, this is my last point, and I'll shut up. What Bandai has a problem. The game is growing, and not enough stores, local game stores, where you could actually play the game, carry product. The reason they don't carry product is historically, the majority of Dragon Ball sets lose value on the secondary market over time. Assault of the Saiyans forward, that's a little bit different. But historically, in the game's history, those products have lost value over time. The reason they lose value over time is because they lack generic, splashable, high-power cards with a decent rarity on them. If Sensubin was a super rare, Galactic Battle would be $150 a box.
Yeah.
So a lot of local game stores don't want to take a gamble on Bandai's products because they can't sell them for what they paid for them months later if they don't move in the store.
Yeah.
At least that's their perception. Like, we know the market is different today.
Well, the power creep in Dragon Ball has been so unbelievably, and I think that's a testament to how good the cards in Draft Box 4 and 5 were, is that those cards are still routinely considered to be staples.
Yes.
Despite like Draft Box 5 or Draft Box 4 coming out between sets 7 and 8, I believe.
Or 8 and 9, I don't quite remember.
Right, it was somewhere in there. Like, those cards are still considered to be staple cards, but
so much so that many of them have been reprinted, and those reprints are still $10 cards.
Yeah.
But to wrap up here, I think if Bandai included more of the generic, high quality, high rarity cards like they do in the draft boxes in their regular sets, those products would see longer lifetimes on the secondary market and become more attractive to local game store owners. And the game would grow as a whole. I think the draft box is a neat idea that ultimately is holding the game back for reasons that really aren't what most people think they are. Jimmy, your counter.
So I actually want to pitch an idea. Of course, nobody here works for Bandai, so it's not like I'm throwing it out here, but it's something that I've had on my mind for a long time. And it comes down to the issue of staple cards being so expensive.
Who hit my camera?
I think that was Chris. Gonna call out Chris. But so
Love you, Chris.
yeah, shout out Chris. So you know, when you go to any sort of like chain, store like Walmart, Meijer, whatever you have, you always see these boxes of like Pokemon cards where it'd be like, here's a promo card plus a bunch of packs.
Yep.
I feel like the draft box should be repackaged and put out in a form of something like that. Because these cards are really great for new players trying to build a collection of staple cards that they can build decks with.
Oh yeah.
And draft boxes are made to build just decks out of them. That's what the draft box is for. So if they would just do something like that and like, hey, here's an alternate art foil bean that you can get inside of this package, plus you get a bunch of packs of draft box whatever, or you get a bunch of these really cool promo cards, like here's a Lord Slug promo for you. Like that would be fantastic. I know serious players would buy one. I would buy it just to have the foil beans, you know.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like people in these chain stores will come in, go, oh, that looks cool, Dragon Ball, and it's in a nice big flashy package. They buy that, they get into the game, they have all these great cards, and I think that will help the game grow not only in the sense of player base, but also having a product that will last and stand the test of time.
Right.
In that same vein, what is it?
I was just saying those foil beans will hold value.
Yeah.
I was just saying that I think that Dragon Ball is desperately in need of a reprint set. Maybe it functions as a draft box, right? Like where it's just a bunch of reprint stuff, like you said, this kind of handpicked to work together, and kind of pick like the best of all worlds from set 1 to like set 9, and just and maybe even up to it in of as much as like set 10, reprint like 200 cards. Give cards that had SR or SCR rarities, give them like rare, uncommon tags, and then give cards that were common, uncommon, or rare, give them super rare foilings.
Yeah.
Like,
I love that idea too, and it. I'm losing my words here. I'm getting.
We talked about earlier how like draft box, the idea of drafting, supposed to make a deck out of them and stuff like that. I want to comment on that mainly because you can't do that with these cards. You cannot make even if it's a 40 card deck. Like, okay, cool. I pulled a 3-drop Pyre Dragon. I pulled the 1-drop Goku from 1-drop Gohan from earlier. I've pulled the EX Evolve target. The problem though is that the 1-drop can't. There's no benefit for the 1-drop because there's no skillless in your drop. Higher Dragon can't play in the skillless because they're not yellow skillless for you to go off that engine. So, and I think it specifies yellow on that card. I'm trying to read it right now.
I believe it might. I feel like the draft box has just become. It's just become a secondary set, and while it is helping out the older archetypes, it's kind of this Frankenstein bastardized idea of a product.
It really is.
And while I feel like Giant Force is the best draft box they've done because of the pool rates, and I averaged like 6 SRs out of my box plus the 4 GFRs.
Yeah.
And like that's very good pool rates for this game.
Oh, for sure. Despite my criticisms of draft boxes in general, I like a lot of the cards from this set. Like I was joking earlier about making a TCG player order. It was hard to cut stuff down. I basically had to just pick a color and go with that.
I'm in a position where I have expendable funds to spend on a card game. So when these cards are very high priced and I look at them, I'm like, like I don't want to buy it, but it's not that big of a deal. But if you look at it from a perspective of like our friend, Lil Buddy, he's been coming to the shop. He does not have the funds to buy all of these new cards that are very powerful.
And he's new to the game, so his existing collection is small.
Yeah.
So it's draft boxes have become like a barrier to entry. And that's my biggest issue with them overall. Yeah. Like, despite everything everybody else has said, which I do agree and they're valid points, they don't affect me. But what does affect me is that I want more people to play this game, and I want more people to be able to have entry level to the deck and to this game. And draft boxes are the barrier to that. Because if you want to build skillless Gohan, you need draft box cards to make it competitive. If you want to build Runegarn, I'm sorry, what?
I 100% agree.
Yeah. If you want to build a Runegarn, you have to have draft box because the entire engine is in the draft box.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest issue for me with the draft box and why I think repackaging them and reorganizing the idea of how these are distributed is the best option for this product.
The Higher Dragon does say does not specify color, so I guess you could play this with the green skillet it came with. So you can make a green yellow deck. If I could have made a green yellow deck out of these packs, pretty much, and been maybe all right.
I think one of the things that I really appreciate about this draft box in particular, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe this is a hot take. I don't feel like this draft box is nearly as power crept as draft box 5 or 6. I feel like the cards are on par, and maybe even a little bit behind the cards that came out in set 11. So, like, I don't feel like they're that, like, there's no card that I look at this and I look at it and go, oh my God, that's broken.
I feel like I'm on the same page of like, these are giving you alternative options. Yeah. Which is, I really like Final Heat Felix. It pretty much does the exact same thing as Royal Condemnation. It does hit a lesser card, and I think it draws you a card, Final Heat does.
But it's cheaper.
Yeah, it's just a alternate version to that specific card, and that's good. Korin Tower Secret Medicine. It's just a red sensu bean. But that's the issue. That's a staple, and it's exclusive to this box.
Yeah.
And it's a rare, and it's already, at time of recording, $293 a piece.
Yeah, which is what I think Bean is setting at right now.
Right. And Bean has been around forever. So,
and Bean, after multiple reprints, I feel like red is not the most meta color right now, but once red, gets its shot in the arm and it's when it comes back into the front of the meta, that card is going to be a $4 or $5 card.
Yeah.
For a rare in a box that a lot of people are probably going to pass up on.
So thank you all for tuning in. Hope you all enjoy. We gave some good points. We gave some critiques. They're still good cards, don't get me wrong.
Oh, for sure.
So, real quick, just to sum it all up, for the three of you, thumbs up or thumbs down on Draft Box 6?
I'm giving it a thumbs up. I feel like this is on the right track for what a draft box needs to be. I feel like there's still a lot of glaring issues, but this is a thumbs up for me because if it keeps improving at this rate, we might have a very good product in the next coming sets.
I give it I don't know what the word is. I don't want to give it a thumbs down, but it's a thumbs down. I agree with Jimmy that the cards in this box are better and more interesting than the cards in Draft Box 5. Unfortunately, I cannot stand the foiling that is present in Draft Box 6.
Looks like it's got soap on it.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it looks like there's Dawn all over my cards.
Yep.
And lastly, I think the reprint product coming up in March is a much better direction for Bandai to be going in, and I feel like energy spent on developing Draft Box 6 was energy wasted.
Yep.
Fair enough. I love the cards. I think some of them should have just been part of set 11 instead of being thrown into draft box like the skillless higher dragons.
Yeah, all the Gohan stuff.
Yeah, but I give it like it's like the thumbs. It's kind of sideways, but a little bit up. Only because I'm still debating if I have to blur out that 6-drop Huragan or not.
This one's for fluff. I'm more so gonna give this like an Orange Cassidy thumbs up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm giving this a very candid, firm thumbs down. I in the same reference as Jimmy, I have the extra income to invest in Dragon Ball product, and I don't mind buying some sealed product, but I don't want to spend $1,000 every month and a half to get a play set of cards so I can play this game. I think the pull rates are shit. I think that these cards aren't worth the investment into this box. Like, I think we're going to see a couple that are going to go way up. But I think if we look back on this box in 6 months, it is going to be hard negative investment losses on this. Like, buy the stuff that you want to play. That's fine. Open up sealed product. Get your fix for that. But I
mean, help your store out, but still make sure don't overdo it.
Yeah.
And here's an example. Our case compared to Jimmy's case, Jimmy got a way better case than we did. I think Jimmy, you said you got a set of every rare. I don't think we did that. I think we got a set of almost every rare. We didn't even see a demigod for starters.
Yep. We got one Bardock.
And we didn't even get a God pack.
Yeah, no God pack in a case. Like, it was just a very underwhelming product. And I just knew when we were gonna have to spend money on this, that it was not just the money in this, but now there's gonna be for the channel, if we want cards, we've got to spend that money. And like that is a barrier to me as a seasoned player who's actually invested in this game. I don't want to spend more money on this set because I think in 6 months, the best card in this set will be $15.
You're probably right.
Yeah. I can agree with that.
So with that being said, Jimmy, last words?
If it burns when you pee, you probably had some Akoran's secret medicine.
Jake?
If you want to win, you have to practice. And remember, you can't play Dragon Ball at Walmart, so don't buy your Dragon Ball cards at Walmart, unless it's Jimmy's premium pack set idea from earlier.
And Fluff, I just realized you and Beerus may have the same opinion about these draft box cards.
Wait, I don't get that. I don't get that joke.
I'm taking all your candy from the mat.
Oh, God, he really is scowling at these cards.
Yes, he hates them so much.
Quit printing draft boxes. It's always read your cards, know your place, fluff out.